Hi, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff. We are coming on the air right now to bring you the latest on the storm reports that continue to pour in from across this country. 22 tornadoes have been reported across 6 states so far. Tornado warnings are still in effect right now north of Nashville in Tennessee and in parts of Kentucky. That state, unfortunately, now reporting at least 70 dead from a devastating tornado outbreak in western Kentucky. These pictures are dramatic and difficult to look at.
Nobody can get to us. The whole building fell. We are stuck.
One of the employees, Kiana Parsons Perez, trapped, posting this video, pleading for help.
Please, y'all, pray for us. Try to get somebody to come and help us.
They would reach Kiana and pull her from the rubble.
In the past few years alone, Mother Nature has certainly done her fair share of damage all across the world. With humans being the root cause for the increase in pollution, global warming, eradication of the forests, and both war and famine, a strong link and correlation could easily be debated. I'm sure most people can remember the 1996 blockbuster movie Twister and its famous scenes where the tornado causes a pickup truck and a cow to fly through the air, shocking the millions of people in the audience that suddenly couldn't take their eyes off the screen. Well, fortunately, that was Hollywood. Now imagine that same scene, but this time it's not a movie. It's a reality. That was the scene residents of Western Kentucky described on an unusual warm night in December of last year, as people were powerless as they would watch their beloved city, buildings, businesses, homes, and their prized possessions be reduced to piles of rubble, all within a matter of minutes. As many of you may already know, the tragic situation unfolded in Western Kentucky just before Christmas in 2021. This catastrophic event was caused by none other than disgruntled Miss Mother Nature. On December 10th, 2021, an EF4 tornado, also known as a Category 4 tornado, ripped through 4 different states: Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, and Arkansas. Unfortunately, Western Kentucky seemed to have taken the brunt of the supercell storm. Mayfield, a small quiet city with a population of approximately 10,000 people, got the worst of it all. The Category 4 tornado had both downpouring rain and extreme winds that reached up to nearly 200 miles an hour. Those fierce winds caused debris, including houses and vehicles, to be thrown nearly 30,000 feet into the sky, which is the same height that most jets fly. Albert Einstein's famous quote, "Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better," should ring true now more than ever.
They give us adequate notice.
We had about 40 minutes.
We knew a storm was coming.
It was coming in from Arkansas. So I mean, everybody. You had time.
Yeah.
But you really don't ever believe if it's really gonna make it that far.
I know.
And when it hits the rivers, it could stop. And so you don't really think that it's gonna make it. This is unbelievable.
You guys probably still can't believe it.
No, I can't.
I've been here since I was a teenager. I'm an old man now, 51.
And I've been.
And I'm just even right now. Wow, man, I have to shake my head, you know. And then you see people that they're going to put out on the street eventually before long.
Yep.
There was renters, low income, people been here their whole lives.
Well,
nothing saved up, no security, nothing. FEMA's all good and great and all this is good help, yes. It's much needed.
But it needs more, huh?
Yes.
But where's the end? Where would the end ever come
it
to?
needs sustainability.
Right.
See?
Yes,
Not
they
just
do.
temporary.
Right.
Sustainability.
And to rebuild here is going to be that's a long time coming. This is a long time before they can start rebuilding.
Do you know if they're going to save the courthouse or is that going to get?
I'm pretty sure it's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the buildings.
It's not structurally safe at all.
That's terrible.
After the COVID pandemic derailed our plans to travel overseas for the new year, we decided to make the trip to Western Kentucky to document the widespread damage that the tornado had caused. The primary issue that we continued to discuss was that we didn't have any clue of how it would all be and what it would all look like, especially that it had already been 7 weeks since the tornado happened. It felt like there was just so many uncertainties that we had to think about. We didn't have any idea of what we were going to encounter. We both almost expected there to be nothing left, as we both studied the actual tornado and had seen all the cleanup efforts that had already been underway since the very first day. We even thought that there was a strong possibility that the police or even security was on patrol to help protect some of the valuable properties and buildings. Fortunately, thankfully, and to our complete surprise, this was not the case. Here's some of the original seats at the American Legion Hall in Mayfield, Kentucky. Look at how old they are. Wooden, original. Got little lights on the side. Look at that. And then this is obviously the auditorium at the American Legion in Mayfield. Look at that cool red colored chairs. They just pop real nice. Look at the wooden ceiling. Original. A for American Legion. Briefcase, some gloves. Look at this stuff. American Legion clothes, patches and stuff like that. All still left in here. Firing squad, for real? Some old wreaths and stuff like that for probably veterans. Old hat. Old American flag, that's really cool. Looks like it's about to just fall apart if you touch it. Here's another American Legion shirt with the patches and the firing squad. Not sure what that's all about. Look at the pants, a jacket. Got the arms there. Sick. And a hat. It's pretty cool. You don't see stuff like that too much. Super old too. Now here's the downstairs, first level, I should say, of the American Legion Hall. Red chairs down here, cloth chairs. Obviously a later addition, as you saw the original ones are upstairs. So this American Legion Hall was built, I believe it was 1923. And it was a movie theater, too, at one time. Orchestra pit there. Center view right there. Almost looks like something you'd see in a movie. So surreal. It all started on December 8th, 2021, when the Storm Prediction Center, the SPC, announced a high risk for severe weather along the states that border the Mississippi River Valley. Forecasters indicated that the atmospheric conditions favored the development of nocturnal supercells capable of producing long-tracked, strong-winded tornadoes for that geographical region. Now, this wasn't the very first time that this area had heard this, so no need for panic, right? Well, just 2 days later, on December 10th, 2021, both the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service issued their first of what would eventually become 149 different tornado warnings for the area, already considered high risk along the Mississippi River Valley. Keep in mind that these were tornado warnings and not tornado watches. The difference meaning that people actually reported tornado sightings 149 different times that day. One of the main problems for tracking these tornadoes was that the supercell storms generated multiple tornadoes with extreme rainfall, in some cases 3 to 4 different tornadoes sprouting out at the same time. The first major tornado touched down on December 10th, 2021 at approximately 8:49 p.m. in the small town of Woodland Mills, Tennessee, which was located in the very northwestern corner of the state. As it moved northeast toward the Kentucky border, it had already caused significant damage to trees, power lines, and people's homes throughout Obion County, Tennessee. From Hickman County, Kentucky, the storm moved northeast towards Graves County, Kentucky. It seemed to have weakened at this point to a Category 2 storm as it crossed into Graves County. Suddenly, the tornado seemed to instantly gain strength and power as it paralleled Interstate 69 and headed straight toward Mayfield, Kentucky. At 9:26 p.m., the National Weather Service announced a tornado emergency for the city of Mayfield as the now massive tornado had again reached Category 4 strength, had touched down, and was headed straight for the city. In the end, the city of Mayfield was left in complete ruins with an estimated $3.5 billion in damage total. When it was all over with, the drastic and lethal tornado had been one of the deadliest tornadoes recorded in recent history, with the final death toll of 58. Its path was also the 9th longest in history, measuring at almost 165 miles and lasting for over 3 hours. The First United Methodist Church was built back in 1919 and was a Greek Revival gray stone beauty that sat at the corner of West Water Street and South 8th Street.
Come over here. You can see the fire extinguisher even says 2021 there. This is all tornado damage. A wheelchair. Be still and know I am God. Wow, look at that. Ceiling's about to collapse. See, here you go. Mayfield, First United Methodist, Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. It's kind of like a juxtaposition, maybe? Is that the right word? You have Psalm 23, scripture, and then this. And then like up here, look. Be still and know that I am God. So this was all sewing, I think. This was all used for sewing. That's why you see all these tables and sewing tables. If you look here, sewing equipment, buttons, pins, a tomato, pin holder, some like thread. So this was the sewing room. Look at the stained glass all blown out. Stuff still hanging on the wall like that cross right there. And then you have like the ceiling is just completely gone. You can even see the sky. Clock is still ticking. You can hear it. Creepy.
A wild fact about the First United Methodist Church is that the pastor was inside the church at the time of the tornado and feared for his life as he hid in the basement closet and watched as all the walls around him caved in. He later stated, "Books and pews can be replaced. Lives cannot." The pastor has since teamed up with a neighboring congregation and is still holding services.
And this is the basement area. Looks like a little meeting hall here. I mean, if you notice, there's like pieces of the door everywhere. Look at this. This is actually the door. Some nice red furniture. JC on the wall over there. Nice little coffee table. These are the ceiling tiles here on the ground, and they came from up here, as you can see here. The cabinet over here is just loaded with all the stuff still. Half the ceiling's missing on that side. More bricks piled up outside the window. Look at that. Wow. Look at this stuff. The good book sitting there. First United Methodist Church. That does say Mayfield, Kentucky. Wow. And then over here, you can see trophies. Methodist men from back in the 50s. Look at that old newspaper. And then look at this. This is gold. No. Pretty cool. Old articles and ledgers and lists of parishioners and 1986. And then it's got, I think it's got old, yeah, look at that. Old photos in here somewhere I thought I saw. Yeah, right here. Look at that. And there's the hall downstairs and everything. It's heartbreaking, really. So this is the nursery, obviously, where the children would hang out. And keep in mind, this was in use as of 7 weeks ago, right before Christmas. Large bean bags, letters of the alphabet, it looks like, religious ones. There's the sanctuary. I mean, look at this. This is the sanctuary. No, this is the hall. Sanctuary up on the level.
An interesting fact was that a photograph taken back in 1942 was lofted from a destroyed house in Dawson Springs and transported for almost 130 miles by the intense tornadic updrafts, eventually the photo being found all the way in New Albany, Indiana. One miraculous story that came out of Dawson Springs was that a mother and her 3 children survived with relatively minor injuries as they hung onto a mattress after they were thrown 200 feet through the air and into a field after the tornado swept their Dawson Springs home from its foundation. The most tragic of the storm's devastation was when it collapsed a large candle factory known as Mayfield Consumer Products.
So this is actually the industrial park that the Mayfield tornado tore apart, where the candle factory was. Look at the tanker just flipped over. That thing just nuts. All these tankers are just destroyed.
I have a good friend that was in the candle factory, and he was in maintenance, and he just got out of the hospital the day before yesterday on Wednesday.
Jeff Perry.
Jeff Perry. He lives out in Fancy Farm, and he just got out of the hospital
He's been in there a month.
Yep.
He's lucky to be alive.
He really is.
Well, a lot of people died in the candle.
It was, yeah, he's been in the hospital ever since, and it's been a real rough time for him.
The giant metal warehouse completely collapsed and was flattened to the ground within seconds, trapping approximately 110 employees working inside the factory. Initially, it was feared that most of the employees were dead, but search and rescue teams were able to save most of them. In the end, 8 employees of the candle factory had tragically lost their lives. Allegedly, the employees wanted to leave, but couldn't as their jobs were being threatened if they left.
This tanker. Another couple over there too, but this one's just completely tipped over. Insulation all hanging out of it. This is a Chevy Camaro, obviously, that was completely mangled by the Mayfield tornado. Look at that, he's still got his Guatemala lanyard hanging. Look at that. Just completely mangled. All these cars. This bus was one of the local county school buses here. And this was just thrown, I'm sure, like a matchbox car. There's the fan, the steering wheel. Look at all that. The mechanics dashboard. And then there's the passenger seats. The roof is obviously caved in. And there's still like tree branches and stuff over there. The tornado. Here's a local Mayfield consumer products vehicle. Look at that. Look at how mangled this thing is. All the dirt, grass, somebody's jacket. Unbelievable. So this is Mayfield City Hall, actually, right here. Kind of an ugly building, but you can see how much damage it got. It literally blew out a lot of these windows. I had to board up some of them. This is the main information desk inside City Hall. The skylight up there. This is the mayor's office. City clerk's office. So this is the fire department in Mayfield. It got hit. Firefighting gear still left in here. Look at that. More. Here's a jacket over here, a firefighting jacket. Look at that. We're across the street from the courthouse that really got damaged badly. You can see they're trying to restore serve pros here. But look at that. Graves County Jail.
So we just got into the courthouse here in Kentucky. As you can see, we had Bob dress up like a worker because there's police everywhere. And we just blended in nicely.
This appears to be some sort of either handicap cell or what I think it is a restraint cell. If you acted a fool, you would be cuffed. Look at those cuffs sitting there.
I've never seen anything like this in a jail.
They had to leave everything.
Yeah.
December 4th and 5th of newspaper. Look at the cards. Look at handwritten for lunch and dinner. People's legal paperwork. All their shampoo and toilet paper and stuff. Look at their bowls, Bibles.
The makeshift checker table.
Yeah. Names of the inmates that were held here when the tornado came. Look at the date, December 10th, the day of the tornado.
Got some inmate jumpsuits in here.
So it looks like the church next door, New Vision Ministries, was completely wrecked by the tornado. Exterior wall is collapsed. The only thing standing is the front facade. So it looks like the pastor must have lived next door and reopened his church in his house. You see the New Vision Ministries sign? Probably took it from the church and put it on his house, and now is holding services within his house, which is incredible. St. James AME Church was a small brick congregation located at 419 South 8th Street. It has a rich history in Mayfield, dating all the way back to 1868. Walking into the church, the very first thing that stood out, besides the collapsed roof, was the eerie and tattered COVID social distancing signs that still barely hung from the pews. The church was slammed by the tornado, causing much of its roof to collapse onto the pews and altar below. Documenting St. James AME Church proved to be quite a challenge because the pastor was literally right outside the church, loading up some of the collapsed bricks from the building into his pickup truck. So that was why we had to be super quick inside the church and extra careful. You could still see the Bibles in the back of the pews, and a chandelier even sat on top of another pew as it still hung from the collapsed ceiling above. On a positive note, St. James AME Church will be the recipient of a $100,000 donation to help it rebuild.
can see the search and rescue spray paint on the front. December 13th. And these are all people's belongings and stuff. Look at the wall just collapsed from the kitchen. That's the kitchen wall. Look at the cabinets are still on the wall. Look at that. Look at this guy, still got his jugs over there. This was the side entrance into the kitchen, dining room area. Just a mess. Still stuff up in the cabinets over there. Looks like a toolbox is just like thrown about. It's incredible. This is actually an older house, so it's probably why it didn't completely get thrown out. Look at Christmas tree, because remember it happened right before Christmas. And Christmas cards. Jeez. That stuff's still hanging. Bathroom. Yeah, it's got beware all over the door. No kidding. Look at this. Danger, danger. Somebody's room. Look at the fireplace. His clothes still in the closet. The TV's all knocked down. The windows just blown out. There's paradise. This looks like it was a kid's room. Look at. There's another fireplace over there. Look at all the stuff on the mantle. Hats hanging up. Just so weird. So post-apocalyptic for real. There's the bed. TV knocked over. Jeez. If we go over here, the foundation's a little shaky. Look at that. The living room. Oh, this is another bedroom. The baby crib from the bedroom is just basically almost hanging out the blown out wall. Let me get a better look at that. Look at that. So this was obviously a lot of houses were right here. You can see somebody's Bowflex over there sitting there. But look at this. They're demoing a bunch of the houses. There's the car outside the house. The house is gone. You can see them working in the background there.
The dental clinic, known as Hawks Family Dentistry, had been fully ravaged by the storm. Exploring Hawks Family Dentistry was ghostly as the calendars on the wall were all flipped to December of 2021. The entire front facade had been washed away, causing a light blue dental chair to hang in peril and protrude from one of the gaping holes that just weeks prior would have been windows and walls. Patients' teeth moldings and impressions still sat in the exam rooms. The dental chairs, equipment, and patient records were thrown about the office. The lab still had the supplies, including crowns, toothpaste, dental floss, mouthwash, and impression trays all scattered about. This experience will be something that neither of us will ever forget, as it completely changed the way that we both look at life. As it will likely take many years for the city of Mayfield and the other areas that were ravaged by the storm to rebuild, it was quite profound to watch the nation respond and come to the aid in the tornado aftermath. Residents, volunteers, nonprofit organizations, and people from all over the world rushed to Western Kentucky in the days following the catastrophe. They poured into the area and delivered necessary supplies. Utility crews worked overtime to restore the power. Volunteers set up tents to give away free food, water, toiletries, and clothing. There were also other tents set up for insurance claims and other resources such as FEMA and the Red Cross. It's both reassuring and heartwarming to see this type of response to such a tragedy. It really tugs at your heartstrings to know that there are still people out there that will make sacrifices and go above and beyond the call of duty to help out other people in need. It's always great to have a positive ending to such a negative situation. If you would like to donate to help the city of Mayfield and the people affected by the Kentucky tornado, there's a link in the description where you can donate to the Team Western Kentucky Tornado Relief Fund, and it will go directly to the organization. All donations are tax deductible and donors will receive a receipt for tax purposes after donating. We truly thank you for the support and for any contributions. As we look back on our experience documenting the tornado-shattered city of Mayfield in Western Kentucky, one thing continues to come to mind: gratitude. When life gets difficult or things aren't going the way that we expect, thinking back and trying to imagine how the residents of Mayfield and the people of Western Kentucky must be feeling to lose everything that you've ever worked for in your whole life can sure put things into perspective. Having gratitude can certainly be instrumental to see how minor life's problems truly are, especially when compared to such tragedy. We know full well that this documentary was emotional to watch, but we felt that it was vital and necessary to bring it to people's attention through our video. As this was also one of our more challenging videos to make, we truly want to thank you for all of your support. We could not have done this without you all. Please subscribe to Abandoned Central so that you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Much appreciated, and stay safe, everyone.